folks, another Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. This time looking similar to the last one, at least in terms of the armies we're using. More warriors versus beastmen. Although this time I changed up my list and so did my opponent. We didn't talk beforehand. So we just decided to do a quick setup, battle line. We're just going to kind of go at each other. 2,650 points, and I will run through my list first. Then we'll go over my Beastmen opponents. So to start out, my general, who is being stood in for right now by a Chaos Dwarf Bull Centaur, is Kholek Sun-Eater. They don't have a model for, but I'm hoping to remedy that at some point. So extremely expensive character, but he looks like he could be a whole lot of fun. So he's going to be my general, and then going from left to right, so I've got a unit of 21 warriors, Marcus Zinch, hand, weapon, shield, and two characters, two sorcerers in there, one of metal, one of Lord Zinch. I'm not quite sure about that, but I need a scroll caddy. Then my war shrine, also Marcus Zinch, 14 chosen, hand, weapon, and shield with a BSB. There's Kholek. 5 Warhounds, a Chimera, being stood in by my Manticore, another 5 Warhounds, and then 10 Forsaken, which was a gift from a good friend, so they've been appropriately named Mike and the God Touched, and we're going to see what they can do. Everybody says they're not super competitive, but we're going to show them different, and they are Mark of Slanesh, which gives them, what's it called? Roll the extra die to charge and flee. So hoping to have a little speed on this side and then hard hitting on that side. And I think I'm going to need it this time because I've been exhorting my Beastman opponent to start using his Minotaurs, and he decided to do so. So going from left to right, and he can chime in if he wants. We've got the Gorgon behind that, 5 Harpies, and then... Are you being cheesy with a line of guys?
He can only move up 10 inches from here.
Oh, alright. So then it looks like there's 5 Raiders, and a big block of gore with 2 hand weapons.
Yep.
And a caster in there, a level, or is it a character?
Level 2.
Level 2.
Beasts.
And then, of course, he's got this Death Star-ish looking mess of, I assume you have a Doom Bull in there.
It's 2 Doom Bulls, a Gorbel BSB, and a champion with a magic weapon.
Jeez. So that's going to be a handful to deal with. So that's going to give Kholek a run for his money, and probably the rest of my army. And then it looks like we've got 5 Raiders, Razor Gore, and 3 Tuskor Chariots. So we're going to take a break now and roll up for Magic, and we'll be right back. Right, for Magic, my Lord of Zinch rolled up Treason of Zinch and Infernal Gateway, which I was pleased with. And then my Lord of Metal got Final Trans. I actually rolled a double, but I took Final Transmutation. And Gehenna's Golden Hounds. I'm not quite sure about the Golden Hounds. I've never actually played with it, but it can target individual characters, which might be good against his giant horde of Minotaurs. And my opponent got Wissen's Wild Form and the Savage Beast of Horus. So we're going to roll off here and see who gets turn 1. End of Warriors turn 1. I rolled the turn. I won the roll to go first, and so I vanguarded and then moved up my Warhounds there, and I shuffled these guys over here to kind of deal with his fast movers. We're going to see how that goes. And these guys just kind of trundled forward, and I moved Kholek over here because I wanted to keep the leadership bubble, although I think the guys on the right might need it more, but we'll see. To kind of get in this guy's space, I'm hoping to clean up this corner first and then turn and deal with the Minotaur problem over here. So that was movement. I had no charges. Magic, we rolled an 8, 5 and a 3, and I used my Skull of Catan to get 1 extra dice and drop the leadership of my one of my wizards by 3, so that wasn't that great. So I had 9 dice. The first spell I tried Infernal Gateway on the Gore unit, and I rolled like 2 1s, a 2, and a 3, which so didn't go off, so he was done for the turn. And then the next spell I cast was Final Transmutation on the Gore unit, and that went off with a purpose, double 6s or triple 6s. So we did that, and my first, there's 43 guys plus the wizard. The wizard I didn't get in a 6. but I ended up killing 15 gore on that, so that was a panic check, but he passed. On the miscast, I rolled a 7, so the 3 guys, it's this guy here, so we had 3 guys in base contact. And I rolled 2 6s for the Tzeentch ward save, so right now the Father Magic is smiling at me. We'll see how fickle he is. And, oh, I completely forgot about my worst one. Alright. So, that was the end of the magic phase. And then for shooting, I actually have a shooting phase. And I did Kholek wrong at first, but then I remedied it. So you have to roll a d6 if you want to call down his lightning. And on a 2 to 6, it goes off, and then you roll another d6 for how many strike 6 hits you did. I targeted the raiders that were over there and 5, and then killed them all, and that spooked the harpies off the table. So we've kind of cleared out some of the chaff over here, and I have no combat. So now we are on to Beastmen, turn 1. Do your worst. And to a rather quick Beastmen turn 2. So he backed up a little bit. I guess I can understand if I had Kholek charged at me, I might move my Gore and my Gorgon. I don't know about the Gorgon. That should just charge forward. But he backed those guys up, but then moved his Minotaurs up, ignoring the bait of my Warhounds. I don't know why he would ever think of doing that. And then these guys, he kind of trundled back a little bit, because I think he's worried about my Chimera. And I think you moved the Raiders up a little bit, right? A little bit. So then we went to Magic, and he rolled 9, didn't channel, and the first spell he tried, he's got 2 spells. He got double 6s on Wissons, on his Minotaur, so that went off. And then he rolled a 10 on the miscast chart, and he lost 2 levels and 2 spells, and that's all he had. So now we have a level 0 wizard over there, which makes the magic phase a lot less scary. His magic phase a lot less scary. Shooting, he took a couple shots with his raiders on my Forsaken, needing 6s, didn't get it. And so that's it. We are on to Warriors turn 2. End of Warriors turn 2, and a pretty good turn for the Warriors, I have to say. So we started off by doing some charges. I didn't really kind of noodle through, although maybe I should have gone ahead and done the charge. But I declared a charge with my Chimera over here. I shuffled my Forsaken up. I marched past leadership and marched my dogs around to do some march blocking in the rear. Charged Kholek into the Gore unit. And shuffled these guys back because that's a pretty scary looking unit right there. Or it was. Still scary. So magic phase rolled a 10, I think, and first tried to do Treason of Tzeentch on the Gore unit to try to lower its leadership. He blew that up with his dice that he had left, even though he can't channel. Second spell was Infernal Gateway, which you dispel scrolled.
Yep.
Infernal Gateway on the Gore unit. I think. No, it would have been on the Minotaurs. I guess I can't cast into... on the Gorgon. That's right. Trying to get rid of the Gorgon. Dispel scrolled that. And with my last 4 dice, I threw it at Final Trans on the Minotaur unit. And on that, with a multi-wound model, you need to roll a 6. And he had 8 guys in the unit plus 3 characters. And one of his Doom Bulls and a Gore Bull got through... Or do you have 3 Doom Bulls? I got one of the Doom Bulls. I think from the look on his face, I think I got a pretty good Doom Bull. I don't know.
General, yeah.
I get the general. So, I mean, it's a roll of a 6, and then I got one other one in the unit, just a regular Minotaur. So, that was a pretty good magic phase. I did not get any miscasts, so that was good. Shooting, Kholek was the only unit he could see in his forward arc he was in combat with, and you can't do the Lord of the Storm attack on anything that's in combat, so no shooting. In combat, I unsurprisingly shredded the Raiders with my Chimera. He's giving me a hard time about the brokenness of the Chimera. It's 275 points or whatever versus a 30-point unit. I'm getting pretty close to making up its points. I overran pretty well, but based on kind of, we could see the base there between the Warhound unit and that Chimera I didn't really plan too far ahead, and I couldn't overrun as much as I'd like, so I've got probably a charge in the flank from at least one, probably two Razor Gore to deal with. Which is totally gonna make you lose. I think I'm set up pretty well. I'll countercharge then with my Forsaken. So we're going to go on now to Beastmen turn 2. Alright, end of Beastmen turn 2, and it was a good turn for the Beastmen. So he had no magic, but he had some awesome charges. He got an 11-inch charge off on the Minotaur block into...
Rolled 11, 2 charge.
Yeah, so he barely made the charge, but he got it into my warrior block. You can see what happened there, but we'll go over it. He had no magic. He charged the Razor Gore into the flank of the Chimera as I expected. And those were the only charges. And those guys rallied and reformed. No magic, no shooting. And all he did was move. He turned the Gorgon around. So in combat, I crushed the 2 Razor Gore and turned to reform and face the chariots. And then combat here, I just couldn't deal with all those character blocks. I lost combat by 7. Both of my casters were in there. They fled off the table, and this guy went up 1 inch. So that was a big... there goes my magic phase. So we're kind of tied at nobody having any magic except for my my War Shrine here. So that's everything. So what do I have left to deal with? I've got 3 chariots over here that I'm hoping to deal with shortly. Got to decide what I'm going to do with the Gore block over there, and then this guy, who I think I can take with Kholek. Kholek took a wound earlier, but he still got 7 left. So that's it. Now we're going to go on to Warriors 3. Warriors 3?
Yep. Warriors 3.
End of Warriors 4. Didn't go quite the way I wanted it to. Charges, I had a charge over here. And the Chimera charge over here. 1 chariot fled off the table. The other chariot is fleeing over there. I tried a long charge with the Forsaken because they had Swift Stride. Didn't make it. The 2 hounds just kind of moved up in case that chariot makes it into the Forsaken. He can get a flank charge if they don't deal with him. Over here, obviously, I made the charge into the Gore. And down here, I was kind of hoping that I would get Kholek turned around and he can help out with this unit down here a little bit. So I just did a march check and moved these guys out of the front arc of the Minotaurs to buy myself an extra turn. Magic, the only magic I have left is the Giver of Glory. I got +1 strength for my BSB in that unit. No shooting because he's still facing the wrong direction. And then combat, I did 4 or 5 probably wounds, but didn't break steadfast, and he passed his 7 stubborn check. So that was a little disappointing. I'm going to get flank charged here by his Gorgon.
Billy.
I think I can take him. I think I can take that combat. And that's it. We'll see if he rallies over here. I did kind of stretch myself out a little bit too far. I think I need more support over on the left. He's going to turn his Minotaurs around. So we will see what happens this turn. It may have been a mistake. So, anyways, on to Beastmen turn 4. End of Beastmen turn. I thought it was 4, could be 3. End of the Beastmen turn. We're going to go ahead and say it's Beastmen 3. So, what did he do? He charged his Gorgon over there. The epic battle. He tried to rally his chariot. It didn't rally, and it's continuing to run. He charged into my Forsaken here and made it. And he turned to face his Minotaurs at my War Shrine and Chosen. So, no magic, no shooting, combat. Which combat did we do first? We did this combat first, and I gotta say, the Forsaken did a really good job. They rolled up 4 attacks each, and their mutation was always strikes first, so they got to reroll, and just crushed the... they took 2 impact hits, so they lost 2, but they crushed the Tuskor chariot, and turned to face, because I need help over here. It's going to take him a while to get there. And then this combat over here, he did 3 wounds to Kholek between his Gorgon and then the unit, but it wasn't enough because Kholek did like 4 or 5 wounds from his regular attacks and then rolled 6 Thunder Stomps, and they all got through. And he had to roll Insane Courage and didn't make it on the Gore unit. They fled off the board, including his level 0 caster, so now we're both officially casterless. But the Gorgon stuck, so we're going to have an epic throwdown. I think I can take him, because he's not frenzied anymore, but we'll see. So, oh yeah, initiative. I don't think I do 4 wounds. So we're going to go on to Warriors. It's either turn 4 or 5. We'll see when I put the video together and see what I can make of this mess down here. End of Warriors, we're going to say 4. So what did I do? I played cheesy, and I'm going to sacrifice my War Shrine to redirect the Minotaurs.
It's not cheesy, it's tactics.
I think it's a little cheesy, because nobody would really sacrifice the altar to the Chaos God, which is going to make him pissed off. So no charges, but so I got these guys out of the way and reformed them to face the Minotaurs. I parked the War Shrine right in front, so if he wants to charge, he has to charge the War Shrine. I hustled these guys over here. I hustled the Chimera over here, and I don't know if the Chariot's going to rally or not, but just in case it doesn't, I'm just going to sacrifice the dogs to keep it slowed down the rest of the game. Magic rolled like a 9, threw all of it at, and got double 6s on the Giver of Glory, which gave +1 attack to my BSB and the Chosen unit. Combat saw him doing a wound to Kholek, but then Kholek just unloaded on poor little Billy and killed him to a
6 wounds.
Yeah, 6 wounds, strength 8 versus toughness 6.
Didn't even roll D3.
And it's with D3 multiple wounds. That would have been awesome. For me at least. So he turned to reform, and hopefully he's going to come over here and put the smack down on. That would be an epic charge. So now we're going to go to Beastmen 4 and see what little Billy's kids decided to do. Beastmen 4, and I got to say, the War Shrine, it held up reasonably well. So he obviously charged in, did 3 impact wounds already, and then he killed it with, he did 2 more wounds, barely did 2 more wounds. So he killed it off, but it did 2 in return on his champion. So his front rank of characters is kind of diminished. So now I have to decide what I'm going to do this turn. I think it's going to be a big old charge. So and then his chariot over there rallied. That's all he has left. So I have to decide if I'm just going to feed him Warhounds the rest of the game, I guess. And then we'll see if Kholek can make it in, or the Chimera. So now we're on to Warriors turn 5. So I think that was Warriors 5, or Warriors 5 or Warriors 6. We'll find out once we put this together. And kind of all that happened. So I charged over there. That didn't go so well. And then I got 3 charges off, and I learned a valuable lesson. Although I like the Forsaken, they did really well. Don't charge them into a bunch of Minotaur characters, because that just hands your opponent combat res. So I charged the Forsaken into the front of the Minotaur unit. I then got the Chosen and the Chimera in the flank. I was hoping to get Kholek in the rear of the unit, but didn't make the charge. So I have no magic, I have no shooting. So we went into combat. I declared a challenge for my BSB. He essentially had all his characters, or had one of his characters do 7 wounds to my all my Forsaken that were left. He did 1. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he killed all 7. I did enough wounds and with combat res and the Chimera going on the unit, I only did 6 wounds to him. So I killed a Minotaur and then knocked off a couple off of his characters. I think all of his characters are on like 1 or 2 wounds. But between the charge, the flank, my war banner, he's disrupted, so he doesn't get his rank bonus. He lost combat by 2, and he didn't make it on the reroll. It was a 5-up rerollable. Was it 2 or 3? It would have been 3, because you're 8, right? Yeah, so it was a 5-up rerollable. I won by 3. And he ran, and I just chased after my Chimera and won. So good game from my opponent. That Minotaur Death Star is a scary, scary, scary unit. In terms of my thoughts, Kholek, I don't know that I played him that well, because he kind of just charged off all over the table. I guess he probably got his points back between the caster and the gore and little Billy over there, or came close. The Chimera, I don't think I did all that well. I should have saved the breath weapon for these guys. That would have been a lot of fun. I like the list. It was just kind of a fun one that I threw together, though. So I don't know what my opponent thinks about it. I think his Death Star unit is A-okay. It definitely scared me. So hope you enjoyed the bat rep, and we'll catch you next time.